Welcome to Human Class Combinations Ranking Tier List. We have all of our classes here, ready to be ranked for specifically the human race. Now, we're going to do two different tier lists. The first one is going to be for solo play. The second one is going to be for cooperative play. They're not vastly different, but they're different enough that I thought that I would make it a very distinct separate list. Because when it comes to the later tier lists on different races, it's going to be much more important. So we're going to start off with B for Barbarian. Now originally I wanted to put Barbarian higher, but if I had to be honest with myself, there was a lot more classes that I would rather play as a Barbarian than a human. Now this is still a very strong, powerful class because you have Strength, Dex, Con, you have a very clear direction that you are taking this character. You're doing a little bit of ranged and a lot of melee combat. But that's about it. Nothing else really noteworthy about the Barbarian here. Also, in solo play is the Wanderer in S tier. Or not Wanderer, sorry. The Warrior in S tier. The Warrior, I'm not the hugest fan of. But the fact that it starts with 40 leadership makes it ideal for human. You're going to come across a lot of scrubs that have mediocre gear that you want to take as the warrior. And the fact that it gives you some range skill, some sword skill, and polearm skill, you have options as to what direction you want to go with the warrior. Just remember to take off your 250-pound iron chestplate. That is the one thing that I should tell everyone every single time. Because 250 pounds is way too heavy. For 150 pounds less, you can just wear a leather chestplate. With one less AC. One AC for 150 pounds is definitely not worth it. Now we have the healer, also going in B. I would love to put this higher, but unfortunately, it doesn't hold up. I would rather play something else as a healer, like a vampire or a goat man, but it'll do in a pinch for human, because you have so many followers to heal. It's just you can't rely on them being your main source of damage at the end of the day. They're just human. They're only human after all. Next we have the rogue, also going in S tier. Rogue has way too many options for what you can do. You can do alchemy, you have as much tinkering as the Mechanist, you have ranged, you have swords, you have so many options as the rogue. And those starting lockpicks really do come in handy. As soon as you find a tinkering kit, also with the new Instruments of Destruction workstations and cauldrons, rogue can remain very fast, making one magical sentry and a couple range sentry as well as a gyrobot. A 4 turret deploy loadout. Perfect for rogue. You can just pop them down at the start of the floor, open up the door, throw out a noisemaker, assist with your ranged weapon, call it a day. Next up we have the Wanderer. This one is going in A tier. It doesn't have as many options as Warrior or Rogue, but it has more option than Healer. It also has a little bit of thaumaturgy, it has range as well as polearm. You start with a bunch of magic mapping scrolls. You start with a towel, a tin opener, and food, which means this effectively makes you half goat man. Very cool class. Maybe a little too balanced, but that's why it's in A tier and not B tier. B for balanced. Next we have the Cleric. Now the Cleric... Cleric also going in A tier. I don't like that it doesn't get dexterity. It's pretty much the exact same as healer, but a little bit tankier, I guess. It's easier to play for sure. It's easier to play than healer. It has 10 less thaumaturgy. It will be difficult to level up your thaumaturgy if you don't get lucky. But overall, this is a better choice for starting with because of that mace. That mace, if you level up your maces enough and you get Sharur, you get the mana regen from it, and also most undead creatures are weak to maces. Whereas with the polearm, you're guaranteed Gungnir, but it doesn't give you any mana regen. And I think at the end of the day, both of these people want to do casting spells more than they want to do melee. Next up we have the Merchant, also in B tier. I was going to put this lower, but then I remembered, wait, as the Merchant, you can put on the monocle when you're appraising gems, and then you can wear anything else the rest of the time as a human. So you can wear a gold mask as a human. They also have an axe to start off with. An axe is really good against mimics and slimes, which are the two most common enemies you're going to be facing. Axe is also good against goblins, so that's an entire section of the game that you will just blow through. It's decent against rats. It's decent against spider. So yeah, axe buff. Really, really good. Just be careful not to get wanted as the Merchant, because the monocle won't save you. Next up is Wizard. I had a lot of fun as Wizard. I think that it's one of the best casters in the game, and it's going in C tier. Unfortunately, I'd rather play pretty much any other race. There are two exceptions that come to mind when it comes to Wizard that I would not like to play. But other than that, across the board, human is just kind of a letdown when it comes to casting. Arcanist. Going up, 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 all the way into A tier. It's pretty much rogue, but with less tinkering, less alchemy. You do start with a fire staff, which is kind of cool, but you kind of only want to use your fire staff in gnomish mines, or against a troll on the first two floors, but then you also have force bolt in range, so you don't need to use the fire staff against a troll. Next up we have the Joker. It's Arcanist Light. That's it. No notes. You have 8 cream pies that you can throw at people. You have a bunch of rocks that you can throw at people. You have a slingshot that you can use to train your range off of. If you hover over a pit, you're safe. Has a little bit of some of the magic schools. It's alright. Blessed Jester hat too. That's cool. Your leadership will be more useful on human as a joker, I guess. So that's interesting. Next up is Sexton. Sexton, also an A tier. You have mysticism, you have open, you have lock, you have sleep, you have 3 chakrams, which are one below the best throwing weapons in the game. You have a mace, again, see Cleric for why mace is so good. You have many different options of what you want to go as the Sexton. Very fun class, highly recommend it, check it out. Now, second out of the Blessed Edition, in Ninja. Everyone is screaming right now at their PC. What Ninja OP? On human, it's okay. I'd rather play a Goblin. I'd rather play an Incubus and do cool teleport behind you stuff. The range weapons are nice. The fact that you start with a bandit mask to kill merchants as a human is nice. But there are other options out there that you can go. You can go Goblin and train your swords up to 100 and then use the Crystal Sword for all of your other weapon skills to go to 100 with it. You can use your throwing weapons, and they have the penetration, obviously. Just Ninja kind of falls flat when you play a human. Still a good option. Very standard, but not the best. Next you have Monk. Monk is going into A tier. As a human, a little bit slower digestion is fine, but you can swap out the ring for something else. 40 blocking is an absolutely insane amount of blocking to have. And then also, they get Thaumaturgy. And that's one of the best magic classes in the game. Next we have the Conjurer. In solo play, being able to give your skeletons every single kill, you will end up with very powerful skeletons. Just make sure that you have enough mana to resummon them. Ugh. Next up is Accursed. And Accursed is going into B tier. It starts with really high sorcery. Being able to get backshots on enemies is really easy in solo play versus playing in a group. And you can get very powerful as the Accursed. It's just, you will struggle in the early game. Speaking of struggling in the early game, you will also struggle in the late game as Mesmer, but you can have lots of friends. And human really likes friends. Lots of human friends. Also the fact that the Mesmer can charm one monster. If you find a special mob, such as Thumpus or Shelob or Algernon, being able to tame them as a human, really powerful. Next up we have the Brewer, also in B tier. Look at that. Conjurer and these 3. If you were to buy a DLC to play as the human, this might be a good option. Brewer gets the axe buff, also has unarmed, also has potions to throw at enemies, or heal your allies. I'd rather blow shit up as a brewer, though. On top of that, Brewer has a surprising amount of leadership. Again, helping human out in the leadership department. Also the fact that humans can trade with shopkeepers. You will want to make a polymorph potion and kill the alchemy shop every single time. But aside from that, there are two races that I'd rather play than a human when I'm doing brewing. And one of them is the best brewer. Next up we have Mechanist. Why would you pick this class? It is fundamentally broken. You should play this, or this if you want to do tinkering, because these three just do tinkering but better, because you have more options. They all do ranged better, at least twice as good in all three cases. 25 ranged, 25 ranged, 20 ranged, 10 ranged. In fact, the Mechanist has some of the worst stats I've ever seen. 40, 10, 10, 10. Disgusting. Now, Punisher. B tier. There are other races that I'd rather be as a Punisher. People who play Punisher like Punisher because it's Punisher. I think that it's pretty much fundamentally broken as a class. So it should go in D tier. But if you enjoy Punisher, you can play Punisher. Next up we have Shaman. They are inevitable. This is the best all-rounder in the game. They have a form of dig. They have a form of levitation that even works in Cockatrice Lair. They have a form of shopping in the spell Confuse. They have a huge amount of intelligence to be had if you play an imp form. They have a huge amount of strength and constitution in troll form. They have perception in spider form? I don't know. Probably don't want to play a spider. And then they have rat form, which is a good way to start off your leadership journey. As a human, I don't know if I would take rats as a shaman. I think I would rather have human followers, and then spiders above the human followers I would take, and then obviously trolls are better than spiders and humans put together. So yeah, lots of good options for followers. Next up is Hunter. If you are going to play a ranged class, play this, or this if you want to do other things as well as ranged. Or if you want to focus only on ranged, play this. Ninja doesn't get as much strength or con as it used to. Now it gets dexterity and perception, making it one of the strongest ranged classes in the game. And it doesn't have the lame-ass boomerang that you have to repair 3 times and then also enchant. No, you just get 5 throwing daggers that do what the boomerang does but better. Bard! Everyone knows where this is going. You have leadership, you have charisma. It's also really broken in the current patch of the game. Next up you have Sapper, going into A tier. The flail is crazy, but it does break. The frying pan, however, is unbreaking. Starting with 0 block means that you can use your frying pan to get all the way up to 40 block. which is an entire level worth of XP. Being able to cook for yourself means that you can do lots of buffs. Also, having alchemy skill means the potions are going to benefit you the most. On top of that, you could potentially do ranged. Just a better brewer overall. Scion. Fundamentally broken class. I understand that you start off with 40 in all 3 of the magic skills. I understand that you have 3 spells that can all train your skills higher than 40, up to 60 in fact. But those 3 spells are not good. And you rely entirely on finding good spells to train your casting. But probably the earliest that you're going to find those better spells is going to be a bookshop, which is very rare, or Ghoul Castle. If you get really lucky, maybe Jungle Temple has a book chest as well. Aside from that, this class is going to suffer from lack of spells until Sandlab. And no one wants to look for books in Sandlab. Everyone wants to blast through Sandlab as fast as possible. Next up we have the Duck Kisser, aka the Hermit. Sorry. I think you're better off playing the base race for this class. The Mechanist is very powerful right now. Also going in this tier is the Paladin. For solo play, this is my recommendation on what to play as a human. Though if you have the DLCs, ignore these 2, ignore these, ignore this, ignore this, ignore this, ignore this. You should be playing a different race if you have the DLCs. Next up, we're going to do in co-op. Once again, we have Warrior taking the top spot. We have Barbarian in B. We have Healer in B, which is... oh, sorry. Healer in A tier. Now, this is one of the big differences that I'm going to point out for Human Healer Co-op. The fact that you can share your healing book brings it up an entire tier. We get Rogue up here. Next we get Wanderer. Wanderer here. Cleric. And Cooperative is going in A tier, as it was in solo. Merchant remaining in B tier. Wizard going up an entire tier for the same reason as the healer. The fact that you can share your books amongst your friends brings it up an entire tier in cooperative play. The Arcanist. Yes, you can share your force bolt with your friend, but that doesn't bring it up an entire tier. It's one extra use. The Joker is also remaining in A tier. You can share cream pies with your friends, but, you know, you are already going to use those. Sexton brings it up an entire tier. Having 2 Sextons in the party is even better than 1, because you can share all 3 of your books with one other person. Gets exponentially better with this class. Next we have Ninja, not moving at all. We have the Monk remaining in A tier. We have Conjurer dropping all the way to the bottom tier. Everyone gasped. From OP to last place, your skeletons. Your skeletons cannot keep up with even one other person who is trying to get kills in the game. They just won't. Your skeletons will fall off a cliff, and then you will realize, why didn't I just play a Cleric? Why didn't I just play a healer? Why didn't I just play a wizard? Or if I was specifically aiming for mysticism, why not the Sexton? Sexton also has leadership, and doesn't rely on jank-ass skeleton mechanics. If your skeletons don't get kills, you should have played anything else. And I refuse to feel bad for you. Accursed, C tier, dropping a tier from B to C, because you kind of need those back shots, and then if you're waiting for someone else to putz around the floor, you might starve to death. Which will be lame, but at least you had the opportunity to clear the floor first, and then you can go have a cigarette, you can go pee, you can go do whatever you want to do, because you starved to death. Mesmer, going into C tier. Mesmer also drops a tier, because your followers might not get kills, which means you might not get leadership, but you're more likely to get leadership because your followers are more likely to get kills, because you have the opportunity to pick the best monster and make it your teammate. But I'd rather play a succubus Mesmer. Next up, the Brewer. B for balanced. Rather play Goatman. Next up, Mechanist. These still exist. Nothing has changed. Punisher. From what I understand of Punisher gameplay, you really need to farm up your stealth in the early game. If you don't have the opportunity to farm up your stealth because you have 3 other murder hobos in your party, this class falls off a cliff. Shaman is inevitable. Accept your fate. Worship the rat. Praise the rat. The fat rat. Hunter. Ninja exist. Bard breaks through the ceiling of S tier. Very, 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 very powerful in multiplayer. Already was good in solo play. Sapper goes from A to S. Now you can feed your whole family with the soup. This is still fundamentally broken. Duck Kisser doesn't move, and neither does the Paladin. Not too many changes aside from the obvious fall off a cliff here, and a couple classes moving up or down 1 tier. That concludes the human class rankings stream. Thank you all for tuning in.